he's got to do a very good job here. But Browne not as awkward as his last opponent, Costas Petrides, where he didn't look good at all and just barely hung on for victory, Okoh.
Yes, he raised a lot of eyebrows when he started in his career, Okoh. One or two people just gone a little bit cold after the last fight, so he needs to get the plaudits behind him once more. 12 rounds. And he started badly against Petrides, did Okoh, so he'll need to get off to a good start here.
I'm sure that the key for Okoh is trying to have a good start, nice and sharp, land with that jab and get his punches off as quick as he can.
Right, sit back, both.
Browne's only previous big chance when he fought Dennis Andrus for the British title in January '95. Andrus stopped him in 11th. And now, when it seemed out of reach, another big chance has come.
Okoh trying to get the jab off. He still looks, he looks a little tight. He hasn't got the rhythm. Just snatching with his punches a bit. Browne's throwing the jab, but he's falling short with that punch. He's got to try and push Okoh back and land with good punches, and I think that's when Okoh just doesn't look well.
Right cross from Okoh, but it was a bit of a slap.
He still hasn't found the range. He's toying with the jab and falling short with the right hand.
Supporters calling for more snap. There was more in the jab there. Looking very sharp in the eyes. His whole body language looks good, but the target isn't being hit often enough.
And he's doing the right thing now, Okoh. He's pushing Browne back behind the jab and looking for the right hand. Browne very experienced. 25 fights and he lands with his own jab. Okoh just getting into a bad habit of falling down to the right, moving his head down to the right, where he's not in a position to come back with counters.
But the first round to Chris Okoh. Important it is because you could see how tense he was, Okoh, but managing to do a fair amount of work in that opening round.
Yes, he did more work. He landed with a few more jabs. There we can see Okoh just throwing more and landing with more. He got a little bit of success, but for the most part, he was a little bit tense. And I think he'll start, he should be looking to try and relax a little bit more and start throwing these punches a little looser.
Amazingly, he won the Commonwealth title in only his 8th fight, stopping Franco Wanyama of Uganda in Bethnal Green a couple of years ago.
Right, sit back. Here we go. What's this? Come on. Right. No,
And he's starting to try and be a little rougher inside. Okoh, Dean Powell has wanted him to do that, to be rougher, to push his man about, use his strength. You'll be forceful, let them know he's the champ.
Of course, if you are going to have a bad night, Denzil Browne's just the wrong guy to fight.
Well, Browne's a decent enough fighter. He gave Dennis Andrus a a tough night's work before he was stopped.
Lovely left from Okoh. And he knew he'd hurt Browne there.
Browne just looking to spoil a bit and mess things up. Browne just holding with the right hand. Got open a bit of a vice grip there.
Amount of holding. Terry O'Connor just getting firmer with them.
He's just getting a little messy. The styles aren't quite gelling right. Okoh's not landing with his jab and getting his combinations off. Browne swinging with punches, but the most part of his, they're missing the target.
Good left jabs in the last two flurries from Okoh, but he's not able to follow it up.
No, he's landing with the jab, but then he's just falling in close. He's got to land with the jab, then follow up with punches behind it. You see again, he does it. He throws the jab and then just slips inside.
Just a little bit of blood seeping from Okoh's nose.
But this has been very much an untidy round.
From Leeds, Denzil Browne, Mickey Duff in front of him, getting pretty animated. Browne got animated once or twice. There's a good right cross there. You can see punches landed so far. He's less than half for Okoh, and Okoh has won the first couple of rounds.
Yes, well, I thought that was an even round. I just didn't think Okoh landed enough punches to call himself a good winner that round. And, you know, Browne for the most part just spoiled with his work. Not a good round for either fighter.
Signs that Mickey Duff's words might have had an effect. Browne a little more animated at the start of this third round.
But Browne's boxed so far as if he hasn't got a great deal of confidence, and I think, you know, he may be just starting to grow in confidence a little.
On his last two fights as Browne beat Albert Call in January in Halifax. And then Bobby Joe Edwards for the vacant Central Cruiserweight title.
Okoh is he's looking to land punches at distance, but as soon as he gets close in, this was a problem with Petridis. He's not being allowed to work. He's not pulling himself free and letting them arms work.
Yes, a little quicker there, and Browne hanging his head a little.
So they'll finally start to find the mark with a couple of punches. Again, lots and lots of holding. The referee shouting for them to break, but neither one very keen to get out.
That's a poor slap, and not in the rules anyway. Okoh wants it so badly. You can see to look good. It's just not happening for him at the moment.
A little clash of heads going in there. You've got to be careful. Lots of holding, lots of inside work. You've got to be careful they don't clash heads. Again, Okoh being made to catch that right hand over the top. He was very vulnerable to that in his last fight against Petridis, and Browne managing to score himself.
Okoh really beginning to tee off now with that right hand.
Well, he's doing more in this round, but he's looking as if he's starting to get frustrated. The work's not good.
And then he bundled right out on top of us. End of round 3, and Okoh still frustrated. His work in that last round, but only occasionally able to make it count.
Yes, he got through with a few punches, enough to win the round. Cleaner shots there, but too often than not, he's drawn in and they end up tangled up. He's got to push himself clean. He's got to work more.
More fierce words from Mickey Duff in the corner of Denzil Browne, as if to say, this is your big chance, you've got to take it. There's the scorecard so far.
Yes, I've got Okoh winning the fight by 2 rounds, but certainly at this stage not looking good doing it.
Just an element perhaps, Ben, that he's trying too hard.
It could well be. He knows how important this fight is. He knows how important it is to look good. Browne's experience, and obviously Browne doesn't want Okoh to look good, so he's trying to nullify Okoh's work the best he can. The referee just having enough there. He's going to have a talk to them, want them to clean up their act.
He wants them to work harder inside and not to hold. Better work from Chris Okoh.
Right, here we go.
Browne coming in with his head low, and Okoh really, you can see the frustration. You can see how hard he's trying to land with that right hand. Browne's the one who does.
Well, he had a dreadful start against Pedroudis. It's not this is a dreadful start, it's an awkward one. It's a much better shot from Chris Okoh there, but Okoh came on strong as Pedroudis in the end.
Yes, he landed with a good right hand there, Okoh. Failed to follow his chance. Browne just a little bit awkward and coming down with his head low, and he's doing his best to make it difficult for Okoh. Browne's got to try and let that right hand go more over the top. Okoh just at times looks a little vulnerable to that shot.
Still too much from Okoh is missing. Slightly better work rate from Browne, but it's Okoh still calling most of the shots, but not by much.
Well, Browne's trying hard to make it difficult in there for Okoh, but he's just got to, Browne's got to try and land with more cleaner punches. His work is just a little too ragged. And Browne has a little bit of success with the right hand.
End of the 4th, Okoh in front.
Sports 1, Thursday at 2 in the afternoon, the first day of the 3rd test from Barbados, West Indies against India. Here now we're about to go into round 5, Chris Okoh against Denzil Browne. Let's rejoin Glenn McCrory and son.
Thanks, Paul. Frustrating night so far for Chris Okoh. He's in front, no doubt about that, but he's not producing the performance he's been looking for. Denzil Browne, an awkward customer, and he's proving it yet again. Browne, only 6 fights in the last 3 years, but with a big chance here to get back in the big time. Terry O'Connor getting frustrated by both even more now for holding.
Had a bit of success there with the left hook, Okoh. The legs of Browne just seemed to stiffen for a second.
Yes, they did. Okoh knows that. Now, can he relax and follow it up?
Yes, that's what he has to do. He has to relax a little, get them hands free, just start working. Just still a little too tense, trying that bit too hard.
It was a cupping right rather than one full of power. It's that inability to follow up the jab that's really causing him a major problem.
Yes, he just stepped up there and allowed Browne to land with a couple of left hooks. That was good from Browne. He's got to try and get a bit more confident and really take it to Okoh. It's a big opportunity for Browne.
Come on, then, go.
When Okoh launches his jab, he seems to throw himself in, not giving himself any leverage.
Yes, he's not just placing the jab out there, he's pushing himself in too close, so the distance closes right down. He's just got to relax with the jab, just stick it out and then look for the punches behind it. He's really leaping in with it. That's a little better from Okoh now.
Yes, it was the left that did the damage, and Browne beginning to feel it for the first time in the fight. And another good left as Browne came in. It's more like it from Okoh. Maybe he'll get confidence from this.
Okoh just slots in a loose, short right hand. Starting to get a little more rhythm in his work, Okoh.
He's hardly missing with his jab now, Okoh.
Come on, lads. Come on, lads.
There's a bit more variety there with the uppercut.
I think this is Okoh's best spell of the fight so far. He's getting his hands free a little more, starting to get off with a few more punches.
And a few of those left, the left jabs even, are beginning to rock Denzil Browne. Much better round for Chris Okoh. Here's his record so far. It's an amazing leap to fame, winning the Commonwealth title in only his 8th fight, pro debut in March of '93.
Yes, although he's 27, he's still very much a learning fighter. And maybe, you know, he just got that title shot a little bit too early, you know, and it hasn't looked as good. But he's managed in the last round to get a few more punches off to look better. I think maybe because he's starting to tire a bit, he's starting to relax, so he's starting to get his hands free and starting to work better.
Much better success rate. Let's see. 50% of the punches thrown landing, and that's a much better percentage than he's been used to. He's been landing with the jab and then failing with the follow. The supporters around are getting a little frustrated with him because they feel he should be right on top of Browne. He's winning the rounds, but not that convincingly.
And that's how I've got it. I've got Okoh winning the rounds well. Just that second round I give even. But Browne's trying to make a tough argument in there, but just a cleaner work coming from Okoh. Another right hand lands from Okoh, but he's just not landing on the target. His accuracy is not as good. I think we've got to remember that Browne is a former British title challenger, and obviously he's in there to do the best he can and put up stern opposition.
Again, the jab lands, but nothing else. Yes, the heads are beginning to launch him, particularly from Browne when he crosses over with the right.
Step back, folks. Step back.
Terry O'Connor, the referee, having to do as much work almost as the fighters, trying to separate.
Yes, he's working very hard. They're just, both boxers allowing it to come too much in close, and they're not getting the hands free. They're not working well inside. I think Okoh just showing his inexperience in close.
Yes, he needs to be at range, I think, Okoh, and I'm surprised that he is following him so closely after the jab.
Yes, I think he's so eager to look good. He's not looking to throw his punches, just to keep the hands free, just to let them shots go nice and relaxed. He's really trying hard.
That's a good right.
Step back.
Browne lands with his own right there, just to show that he's still dangerous, still in the fight.
He's both really teed off there. Just about the first time in the fight. For the first time, both looking a little tired now.
Come on, let's start it up inside.
It's been a mauling fight, but a towering one for all that.
Yeah, it's a very physical fight. They're using too much energy in close. Nice uppercut there from Okoh. But again, he falls in and looks to hold.
Okoh's round again. Every time you see Chris Okoh, you have to remind yourself it's only his 14th fight. So much expectation there, the stats through. And on all the statistics, Okoh's winning, particularly in the round-by-round total, but he's not looking good.
No, he's not. I think the main exercise he wanted to do was look good. And he's not doing that. Credit to Browne, he's not there to make him look good. He's trying to make a fight of it. He's spoiling when he has to, and he's trying to work inside as well. But Okoh needs to look better, needs to get his hands free. It just looks to me like he's trying a bit too hard.
The second half of the fight, Okoh seeping blood from his nose, but no problem at all. Good work from Okoh there, defensively, and with the right.
Here we go, step back.
Okoh now trying to pick up the pace a little bit, trying to get more of his punches, get them off, land with them.
Yes, good right cross. Okoh being urged on, Frank Maloney. To our left, feeling that Browne's mentally beginning to fray.
Well, he just got that success there, Okoh, because he tried to throw punches close in. He didn't close the gap down. He threw punches all the way in.
Yes, rocked him back with that right, and he is hanging on now, Browne. Clubbing with the right, but holding very obviously with the left. Good shots, and that last right, Browne really fell.
This is better. Browne starting to look tired, looking over the corner. Okoh starting to get a new lease of life. He's starting to throw punches.
Yeah, that was a tired little manoeuvre from the man from Leeds. A bit of interplay between Frank Maloney and Mickey Duff. Just outside the ring, both of them keen to catch the referee's eye, tell them what the other fighter's doing. But all in good fun. Better round. So let's have a look and find out what Johnny Nelson, the champion, thinks of what's going on. Johnny.
I think Chris is trying way too hard to take him out, and he's having a reverse effect. You know, he's smothering his own work. He should step off, find his range, and then drop the right hand, and he's trying too hard. Denzil Browne, if he wants to do anything, he wants to try and spoil him. He needs to try and bully him. You know, he's got to somehow pressure him, put the pressure on him, but he doesn't seem strong enough. I'll give it 2 or 3 rounds at the most.
It's interesting that Johnny says that all this encouraging from Maloney in the corner. You're not looking good, Chris. You've got to finish it now, Chris. Actually, it's kind of forcing him to tighten it up a little.
Yes, I think it is. I think it's all just having an adverse effect, and he's trying again harder and harder. He's just got to forget about it, get on with the job in hand, just relax and just let the punches flow.
Certainly Okoh's corner believe that Browne is beginning to slow and that he might be beginning to wilt. There's Frank Maloney, and he and Mickey Duff have been having a right old go at each other outside the ring, only verbally, but it's been pretty animated.
Yes, Frank Maloney's just been asked to move out the corner there. Like the boxing board thing, he's a bit too close with his instructions. So far, Okoh doing enough to be in a nice lead, but certainly not looking good. Not showing a great deal of variety.
All the damage that Okoh's doing is with his left.
Yes, but he's just leaping in too hard with that left.
Another good jab, and Browne didn't enjoy that at all.
He's doing his best to try and nullify that jab, and he's been quite effective at that. He's closed the range down and not allowed Okoh to work well.
Much better short little right from Okoh.
Browne landing with a good right hand himself there as Okoh again leaps in too far.
It's just when Okoh looks to take complete control, you get that little sneak shot from Browne. But he does look to be towering. And Okoh, I think, sensing this, certainly the crowd now beginning to push Okoh forward.
Again, just showing a little bit of inexperience. He just admired his work there, Okoh. Allowed Browne to close the gap.
Better right, but it didn't hurt. But the accumulation now beginning surely to slow Browne down.
One step back, both. Right, step back.
It's a solid jab from Okoh. Browne trying with that overhand right to come back, but just missing the target.
Right, come on, let's sort it out. Down on the break.
Really grueling. Around with a lot of action. And Okoh, I guess, just shaded it. Let's have a word with the promoter, Frank Maloney. He's with Adam Smith.
Well, Frank, Chris seems to be getting on top now. Do you see it that way? But it's been frustrating, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been very frustrating. There's been no coordination in his work, but he's beginning to get his position going there, and the work's beginning to take command.
Both of you said that you've got to go back to school for this one. Do you think he's trying to look too good?
I think styles makes fight, and Denzil Browne doesn't really want to fight. He's tying him up. But I'm not impressed with Chris Okoh at the moment. But the last round, he was beginning to get on top, and he's beginning to look a bit more like a champion.
Do you expect a stoppage, or do you think it's going to go the distance?
No, I think he's beginning to wear Denzil Browne down there. And if he gets some clean shots in, I think he'll stop it.
Thanks a lot, Frank.
So confident words from Frank Maloney. Let's see if they bear fruit here.
Round 9.
To the last third of the fight. Chris Okoh, his third defence of the Commonwealth Cruiserweight title. Okoh from Croydon. against Denzil Browne from Leeds. 28 years old, having perhaps his last major chance at this level. Good shot from Okoh.
He's just livening up his work a little bit. Looks like he's thinking about things now, just relaxing a little bit, trying to get more punches off. Nice little right hand punch there from Browne. And just to tell Okoh he's still there.
It's one of the truths of the game that you can't be tired and tense at the same time, so maybe he's getting more timing now.
Yes, I think that when you start to get tired, you start to naturally loosen up, and you know, often a fighter then starts to come out with his best work.
Pushed back, but he can't wait to get straight back at Browne. And it's that very urgency that's working against him.
And you see how hard he loads up with that right hand. When you do that, you throw it much slower.
What's the mate? Come on, work away, get it.
Browne, though, has got to start picking his effort up, because this is his last chance in the big time. And he's heading for defeat here, although Okoh's not looking good. There's no question that he's well ahead on points.
Yes, Browne, if he wants to win this fight, he's got to come out with something pretty special. He just hasn't matched Okoh for the work rate. And for the most part, I think he's the one that's you know, spoiled the work a little more. He's fell inside more. Okoh looking for the big uppercut there, but again falling short.
Well, a lot of effort in this round, but not much reward for either man. 3 rounds to go. Now, reading the riot act of Chris Okoh, but I'm not sure they're doing the right thing. I really not. I think the more he relaxes, the more reward he's going to get. There's no question
That's
of it.
how I have it. I've got him a very, very big winner. With Browne, I'm only giving him a couple of even rounds. But he's just very frustrated. He's not getting his work. I can understand how Dean Powell is getting annoyed, but I think it's not helping Okoh because he's just tensing up more.
Come on, mate, work and get it.
I'm sure Dean's annoyed because he's gone over this time and time again in the gym. You know, worked on what he's got to do right, and you know, he's still not doing it.
Come on. Come on, man. Sorry, not both of you.
It's a step up from his performance against Tosca Adrides in his last defence, where he very nearly lost. A lot of people thought he didn't win the fight. No question here. He's fighting a little better, not a lot better, but no question he's going to hold on to his title unless anything dramatic happens in the last few minutes.
No, I think what Chris Okoh needed to do in this fight was impress, and that's what he's failed to do. He hasn't managed to get his boxing going, get his hands spraying, throw punches and relax. And, you know, he's making it a frustrating night for himself and his corner.
As we heard from Johnny Nelson earlier on, I'm sure Johnny's not too worried about what he's seeing tonight, nor will Carl Thompson be. Terry Dunstan.
Well, Okoh's complained that his drop in form was due to the opponents dropping down to their level. So, I think maybe he said that a couple of times. Again, he hasn't, he's not performing well. I think maybe it's time the camp, stick him in a much bigger fight.
Come on, Cody. No. Step back.
So just half a minute to go in round 10. The stoppage looking less and less likely. One thing Browne has got, as well as awkwardness, is resilience.
Yes, he's done well. He's done the job that he's had to do. He's pushed forward. He's tried to land punches. We're getting a bit of success with that long right hand, but nothing coming behind it. I saw Dean Powell just mouth the word to Frank Maloney. Awful. So I think he's not happy with his young protege.
No, I'm sure there are going to be more fierce words from Dean Powell. That was perhaps less impressive than anything before. So through the fight, you can see Okoh throwing by far the greater majority of the punches, and the percentage that much higher as well. But quality is not a word that you'd readily associate with his work so far. And just occasionally, he does get caught.
He has. He's looked ragged from time to time, dropping his hand. There you see him get caught with the left. His chin was still up and open for the right, but Browne was unable to land with that punch. But certainly there's been opportunities for Browne to connect.
That's where the motivation's needed, to see if they can produce 2 cracking rounds from Browne that might turn this around. 2 rounds to go in this Commonwealth Cruiserweight title. 3rd defence from Chris Okoh from Croydon.
Okoh at one point looked very excited, looked to have good punching power, but he hasn't done a great deal to hurt Browne. And Browne's come through most of his shots quite well. Browne's certainly never been in any serious trouble.
Yes, the big problem seems to be the second punch from Okoh. He lands with a jab, but the right does nothing.
Yes, he's not bringing nothing behind the jab. He's falling into punches. And I think it's very much back to school for Chris Okoh. There's a lot of work to be done in the gym. He's got to learn to loosen up. There's some big fights out there for Okoh with Terry Dunstan, Johnny Nelson, Paul Thompson. Maybe the Cornwall thing now is the time just let him go. He wants a challenge, let him have it.
Bang to the side of the head of Browne, but he winced. For all Okoh's superiority, Browne's never looked in any trouble at any stage of the fight.
He hasn't. In his own way, he's continuing to try and work. It's very, very crude and certainly not a lot of technical, good boxing going on there from either man. Okoh was looking quite impressive in the gym when I went down to see him, but he's showing none of that sort of form here.
He's a lovely guy, Okoh, modest, realistic, and he'll know now. Better right. At last, the right. Delivered with power, landing on the chin. Browne took it well, but he's running out of time. Mickey Duff telling him it's just 3 minutes of this his best chance since the Andrus fight.
He had to take a decent shot off Okoh right at the end of that round. Okoh finally found the target, just flicked over that right, then the left. But you see the next one misses, then he falls in again. Very same as he's done throughout the fight.
He never takes the step back to get those levers.
No, he needs to keep a little bit of distance between himself and Browne, and he's not been able to do that.
Well, overwhelming superiority on your scorecard. There's only one way for Browne now.
Certainly, I think he's a big winner, Okoh. But the question mark was, on paper it looked like he was going to do that, but he needed to look good. If he's going to challenge these big fights, they're talking world titles and European. He needs to look good in fights like this, and he's failed to do that again tonight.
Right, come on, let's have a talk. Right on.
Caught Browne there as Browne came in. Now he's unloading time after time.
You can see he's well conditioned, Okoh. He's still strong. He's still trying to throw punches in the 12th round, but just the quality of punches are not good. Just trying to swarm in, cut the distance down. He's failed really to land with clean punches to win the rounds, Browne.
Some people at home will think we're being a little too critical of Okoh. Here he is, keeping up an unbeaten record in his 14th fight. This is his third successful defence of the Commonwealth title, but he sets himself high standards.
Yes, if you're going to call yourself the bad mama jammer, you've got to go to fight.
Right. Get back, told you, that's round. Right.
Last half of the last round.
No, break.
Credit to Browne, he's spoiled and he's tried to nullify all of Okoh's good work, and he's managed to do that. He tries with that right hand over the top, Okoh, but falling short.
Then apparently Browne's corner, Mickey Duff and Joe, have seen your scorecard and they think it's closer than we think, but I think they're being a little optimistic.
Well, a lot of the rounds have been very, very messy, so I mean the referee could score them a lot closer. But I think Okoh's the one that's trying to throw cleaner work, so I'm just edging for him by that. Browne hasn't landed with many clean punches.
Okoh looking even in this last 10 seconds for the grand finish, but he's not been able to produce it. Yeah, no doubt in our minds, Chris Okoh defends his Commonwealth Cruiserweight title, not in style, emphatically, but not in the way that he was looking for.
No, he's got the win. That was, again, that's the most important thing. That keeps his record intact and pushes him on. But it was important that he looked good tonight. I think he was up against the right sort of opponent to make him do that. But it just never happened for him. He tried too hard. He threw a lot of punches and landed, by far a lot more than Browne. But he just couldn't look good. He couldn't land good combinations. And I think they'll be a little upset.
Nearly double the amount of punches landed, higher success rate, but it looked a little one-dimensional. And there's one word I would say to Chris Okoh from here on, it's relax. So Okoh holds on to his title. Here's the announcement.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Terry O'Connor scorecard reads: for Browne are 117.5 points, for Okoh 118 points. Your winner, still undefeated, Cruiserweight champion of the Commonwealth, Chris Okoh.
Well, I'm amazed it was that close.
And ladies and gentlemen,
5-4 with 3 even, and I can't believe that kind of scoring. I thought Okoh won it convincingly because Browne didn't do enough.
That's right. I couldn't see how he could do that because there wasn't enough good scoring blows for Browne. And again, Okoh has done it just by the skin of his teeth. So, I mean, how much longer is the luck going to go with him?
Denzil Browne.
Well, Denzil leaves the ring, and maybe he leaves the big time for the last time. And Chris Okoh, well, I don't think there'll be too many terrors up the spine of Johnny Nelson. We'll find out later on, or Terry Dunstan, Carl Thompson, even Dennis Andrews, who still refuses to retire. Be interesting to hear what he says. As I said earlier, he's a lovely guy, he's very modest. How will he evaluate? Maybe in the moments after victory he'll be a little pumped up, and the reality will set in tomorrow. But it'll be interesting to see exactly what his visualization of this fight is. There he is with Dean Powell, and he'll be talking to Adam Smith. Adam.
Well, Chris Okoh, congratulations for retaining your title, but there were rather muted celebrations. I mean, it's only one round in, half a point.
Yeah, Denzil was very tough. I think after my last performance, I was probably trying a little bit too hard, you know, to get the stoppage. You know, I knew he was a good, solid professional, but once again, I sucked it up and I won. One round, but I won. I think basically, you know, I was just trying a bit too hard at him. You know, but I still got some learning to do. I still know that's my 14th fight. You know, I'm still, you know, I want to go back to the drawing board once again and correct the faults.
Do you think that was it, that it was a frustrating start because you were trying too hard? I mean, you were getting your jabs off in the first couple of rounds, but as the fight progressed, you really just wanted to knock him out, didn't you?
That's right. You know, the first, 3 or 4 rounds, I was jabbing nicely with him. I built up a nice early points lead, but once again, I let him get back into the fight. He was very determined, but, you know, I sucked it up, and I won.
Dean Powell, the trainer. Now, you said it was very much back to school. You weren't pleased at all with his performance last time against Tosca Pedridis. Were you pleased with this one?
Well, I think the results there for all to see. He won. But, you know, perhaps, you know, we all put a little bit too much pressure on him to go out and look good because of last time's performance. And obviously he's carried that in the ring with him tonight. But, you know, once again, he's gone 12 rounds, he sucked it up and he's still the champion. So, you know, we have got to go back to school, but, you know, with Frank's help and, the Alba Sky television, he'll still come through and he'll still be there at the end of the day.
What did you work on to get him for this fight? I mean, what were you specifically working on in the gym after the Pedridis fight?
Well, we were trying to get him to use his jab a little bit more, which he did the first couple of rounds. But then he, you know, he sort of got carried away, he went a little bit right-hand crazy, and he got tied up in a fight, which he shouldn't have done, but he knows that. And, you know, we're just going to have to, once again, go back to the drawing board.
Frank Maloney, what about your reaction?
I wasn't impressed with the performance. I mean, what they're saying is right, but they've got a lot of learning to do before they can step up to European level. I mean, at the moment, he's back to the drawing board and it's back to hard work. And, you know, if Chris is going to be a champion, he's got to be able to carry that pressure in the ring. That's what makes champions. That's the difference between ordinary fighters and champions.
Thanks a lot for your honest answers, guys. Thank you.